really good question on how they would get the totem poles to stand up. And so there's like a A-frame contraction on the island and all around. Science totem pole found on page 25 of the Episcopal Church, built in 1903. And this is the oldest building in town that is still used for its original purposes. And then if you look to the right of the Married Man's Trail, it leads to migrate back to the fresh water where they're born, and then they spawn and die. So there's a lot of features around here that they spawn and die on them. And I heard that towards the end of the season, it rains so much it gets a bit muddy. So they play on gravel, which I think is pretty hardcore. I don't envy anyone who slides into home plate there. To catch in the ponds. And there's a salmon fish hatchery at the back of the park where the salmon will hatch and then they'll release them into the creek. My friends and I like to be good today, but I can't say too much about the weather because whenever I think it's not going to rain, it does. And on the left, you'll see that there was a house there. They got burnt down. I don't know the story. I could probably make one up, but I do know it happened less than a year ago. There are also gray wolves on the island and six-tailed black-tailed deer. And there are mountain goats. A few of my coworkers and I went on a hike last month and we saw a baby mountain goat, so that was fun. And there are these little yellow slugs called and a super bad aftertaste. So I wouldn't super recommend unless you really want to. It's also interesting, I'm from Idaho Falls, passing through the incorporated township of Saxton. It is an incorporated township. Slugs called banana slugs. Maybe you've heard of them. And it is said that if you lick a banana slug, then your tongue will go numb. And I know this because I went on a rainforest tour and the guide let me lick it. And my tongue did indeed go numb. There's a good tickly feeling and a super bad after.
That's actually one of my friends, Savannah. We came up here together, so. This way, Debo.
No, it's this way. This is the way, Mom.
Meet in this area here. I can explain that in a second. But the Beaver Clan house, the traditional doorway would be a crawl space, and this would allow the heat to stay inside of the clan house. And also, if it's some screws as possible. And it's kind of like a private tour going on right now, but you can hear the drum. They have like volunteers go up and dance, and they make me do it sometimes. And so like I can kind of just show you like to the beat of the drum, the women kind of go like this, like very chill, and then the men kind of go like this type of thing. So that's kind of what's going on there. So. And then there's lots of fun stories around here. And then if the group behind me gets out, then we'll probably just travel over here a little bit. But there's lots of fun stories. I usually like to start with this one right here. And so this is William Seward. maybe some of you know who he is. Do you know what William Stewart's known for doing? Got it, yep. William Stewart was a Secretary of State under Abraham Lincoln, and he helped purchase Alaska for 2 cents an acre. That sounds pretty good, right? And so, when William Stewart came sailing into Alaska, he came here on a lunar eclipse, and so the natives thought that he had power over the moon, and that he was a moon god. And so, they carved him a totem pole in his honor. He's also a nice guy, they really liked him, and so they decided to throw him a potlatch. And what a potlatch, and the chief would pretty much go bankrupt throwing these parties because of all of the homemade gifts and activities. Towards the highway or the road. The eagle's looking forward for the brothers, and there used to be another totem pole where the eagle's looking down. But that one's not there. The eagle's clans are having conflict, and so the Western settlers invited both of the clans onto their ship to make a peace treaty. Of the pole is a raven. There are 3 bear cubs, a mama bear, and a man. The man's name is Kotz, and this is his story. So Kotz was like the Hercules of his village. He was super strong. If he dipped his toe in the river, he would pull out a salmon. If he punched a mountain, it would crumble. He was that strong. So one day, Kotz is out in the woods hunting bear. He chases the mama bear up into her cave. And there they rough it and they tough it out. Maybe you can guess that the mama bear won. She realized that she really liked Kotz, and so she gave him 2 choices. You can either marry me or die. And so Kotz realized that marrying the bear would be 1 step better than dying. That's what he decides to do. And so they get married, and they actually grow very fond of each other. They fall in love and have 3 bear cubs. So now they're this happy little family living in the cave. And then one day, Kotz was missing his friends in the village. So he asked the mama bear if he could go visit them. She said yes, as long as you don't look your ex-wife. If you do, there'll be a curse. And so Kotz is like, okay, sure, no problem, I can do that. So Kotz goes down to the village, he sees his friends. His friends tell him that his ex-wife is out in the woods picking berries, so he should be okay. And so Kotz goes out with his friends and they go fishing and have a grand old time. When the day is done, they start walking back through the woods up to the cave. Maybe you can guess that he accidentally sees his ex-wife picking berries. And so this makes him really nervous, so he's looking around to see if anyone saw. And he didn't see anyone, and so he starts running back to the cave as fast as he could. But little did he know that Raven was at the tops of the trees. And ravens are known for being tricksters. They like to cause mischief. And so Raven flies back to the cave faster than Kotz can run and told the 3 bear cubs what had happened. And this makes the 3 bear cubs kind of upset that their dad had dishonored their mom. And so they decide to teach him a lesson. So when Kotz gets back to the cave, they start roughing him and toughing him up. They rough him and tough him up so good that he dies. So the mama bear hears the commotion, comes to see what's going on, and she sees that Kotz has passed away. This makes her sad because she realized that the prophecy had come true and that he saw his ex-wife. And she's also pretty upset with her bear cubs, and so she banishes the oldest son, the most ferocious, to the north, where his fur turned white and he turned into a polar bear. The second son was banished to the south, where his fur turned brown into a brown bear. And the littlest bear was gonna miss his mom, and so he decided to stay here in Ketchikan and he forever lurks in her shadows, turning his fur black. That's why we have black bear here in Ketchikan. And now the mama bear spends the remainder of her days up in the mountains here, and whenever she's having a really hard day, then she'll cry about 13 feet of rain. Looks like she's having a good day today. And that's the story of Cots.
I wouldn't think that. It looks so it's double sided.
这种衣服挺好，保暖。转过来。
Backside of a totem pole. This one allows the red cedar wood to breathe. This ad, which is the smallest at the bottom, and then they go into ground that way. Pretty cool. Some of you were asking a little bit more about myself, so I can tell everyone. And so they recruit a lot of college campuses in Idaho and Utah because our spring and summer semesters work well this season here. And so me and my two friends, Maddie and Ariel, we're like, yeah, we'll go work in Alaska. So here we are. I learned how to drive a bus in Rexburg, Idaho in the snow. So that's exciting. And I've just been driving up here for the summer and I absolutely love it. Then I'll be going back home in a few weeks here to go back to school. But I can totally see myself coming up here for another season. The first small summer I've heard is on a college campus somewhere in Georgia. And then a little bit about town. If you're looking for somewhere to eat, I really like Alaska Fish House. They have good blackened salmon tacos. There's also Annabelle's. They are known for their clam chowder. Maybe you've heard of Burger King. Well, there's a Burger Queen here. It's on the other side of this tunnel. And there's a sushi bar in town if you like sushi. And there's Chico's Mexican restaurant if you like Mexican food. But honestly, you really can't go wrong. I've liked everything that I've tried here. And then shopping, again, there's shopping along Green Street and in town and by the ships. So you really can't go wrong there as well. Make sure to be there before all board time. Probably a 15-minute walk from here down here. So. And real quick on your right, there's a famous Creek Street. It used to be